Say man, hey man, it's your boy Booster Fit checking in with another video, and I just stopped by to talk about the title, Never Working Another 9 to 5. Now, that is a personal preference for me. Nothing is wrong with working a 9 to 5, okay? And you see me move my hands. I talk with my hands a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But nothing is wrong with working a 9 to 5. I'm not knocking anybody that work a 9 to 5. Actually, a 9 to 5 or whatever your shift is, it can be good depending on what you are trying to do in life. If you are trying to invest, having a job is good because you can put money to the side, you can pay your bills and put money to the side and save, so forth and so on. So nothing at all is wrong. Nothing. I sound crazy, but nothing is wrong with having a 9 to 5. So let's talk about my personal experience with working a 9 to 5 and why I say I don't want to work another 9 to 5. Because when I was younger, I didn't want to work for nobody. My mind was already made up. But when you're younger, they tell you that, hey, graduate high school or get your GED, whatever, go to college, get a job. That's what we were told when we were coming up, and I'm in my late 30s, so I came up in the 80s, the mid 80s, 90s, and of course, so forth and so on. So, I was told to go out and get a job, and when I was younger, I already knew in my mind that I wouldn't want to work for nobody, you know what I'm saying? But that was just me, and nobody knew that. But my previous work experience will tell you that same thing, okay? So let's go back, right? When I graduated high school, I was playing football. I played basketball. I ran track. I did all those things. And, when you're playing sports and you're young, you have dreams of going to the NFL, MLB, NBA, or whatever you do. So I had dreams of going to the NFL, okay, because I was pretty good in high school. And, I wanted to further my football career in college. So once I graduated high school, the day after graduation, right, I left home, my first time going somewhere, because when I was younger, we didn't travel a whole lot, so I didn't get out and experience, seeing the world, going here, going there, being able to see the world. I didn't get that. I did go on at least one vacation that I can remember. We went to visit my uncle Freddie in Savannah, Georgia. So shout out to him, man. That's my guy. Okay, and we went to visit him when I was younger. And when I graduated high school, I went to Nantucket, Massachusetts. That was my first time getting on a plane, which you already know how that went with my stomach, and my stomach was hurting. That was my first time getting on a plane or whatnot. So I went there, and I was staying with a female that I was dating, talking to, whatever, however you want to word it. Okay, so when I got to Nantucket, she already had me a job. Mind you, now I'm just getting out of high school. I don't have no work experience, and this would be my first time working. So she had me a job. It was way in the in 2000s, okay, in the early 2000s. Okay, so she had me a job already, and it was set up nice. The job was right across the street from where we were staying at. Okay, so shout out to her. She did give me that job, and she gave me a place to stay. I could talk about this. I'm married now, but I can talk about this because my wife already know. So before anybody get to talk, oh, you married? No. My wife already know what's going on. So she did give me that job, and the job was paying $12 an hour, I think. Mind you, now I'm way across the country in Nantucket, fresh out of high school, don't know what my future is going to hold, but I was going to get that job just for the summer because I had to go back home early to play in an all-star football game that was in like July, and I was going to go to college in August. So I went there, I got a job. I was working at Marine Home Center. I remember like it was yesterday. So what they did there was like, I say Lowe's or something like that, Lowe's or Harbor Freight, whatever, like Lowe's. I say Lowe's too because they had a lot of things as far as like equipment to build. They had indoor stuff, and I was working in the delivery department. Mind you, now I'm just getting into the working field. I don't know anything about actually having a job, and the thing with having a job is that you have to be around people every day. So I was working with this guy. I remember his name was Gavin, I want to say. he was from Jamaica, but he was living in New York, so we talked loud and fast, and all that stuff right there. So a pretty cool guy to work with. And we also worked with some, I think they was Albanians. I think that's how you say it, but they wasn't from the U.S. Okay, so they came over doing the same thing I was doing, which they work seasons. Okay, and I was working with those guys, kind of getting into the work environment. You know what I'm saying? And seeing them every day, working with them every day, seeing their personality, seeing what they like to do. They know what I like to do. So we was delivering things to people around the island. Okay, and there was some rich people out there. They gave us nice tips and stuff like that. Even though they didn't have to, we used to deliver things to take to the house. So now I'm getting into the work environment. It's cool, but at the same time, it's like, dang, I gotta see these people every day. And the people that were in charge of everything, they wasn't the problem. It's always the people that work around you or that you work with. Okay, but it wasn't that bad of an experience. So I went to college that August, and all through college I didn't have a job. Okay, and like I said, I was trying to get to the NFL. That was my thing. And I graduated college. I took up criminal justice in college. I didn't really want to be a police officer. I didn't want to do anything like that. I didn't want to work at any prison or anything like that. So that was my mindset. But I did want to be a private investigator. That was my thing. You know what I'm saying? But I never really pursued that either. So all through college, I didn't have a job. Right? So that was my first job in Nantucket. Now I'm trying to get this video over, trying to just skip through parts because I can go on and on about what I'm really trying to say. So I go through college and I don't have a job, and then I graduate college with my criminal justice degree at Alcorn State University. And now it's like, you graduated, okay? What are you going to do next? Now, like I said, I was trying to get to the NFL, so I didn't go to the NFL, but I played arena football, so trying to further my career in football. So I played arena football, like Arena 2 or something like that, in Albany, Georgia, and that was a cool experience, but they didn't really pay no money, so I couldn't pay bills with that. So during that time, I was playing the video games for money. So I played the video games for money every single day. And my wife that I have now, she's been with me the whole time. So we've been together a long time, and we've been married a long time too. So I was paying bills and things of that nature with the money that I was making for playing the video games. Mind you, now still haven't gotten a real job. Okay, so once the arena football thing didn't pan out, so now I'm still playing the game for money, making money with the video game. My wife, she always kept a job. Both of us went to Alcorn. She always kept a job, and she graduated. We graduated at the same time. So I'm playing a video game for money. I'm talking about making, some days I make $500, $600, on one day. You know what I'm saying? And that was cool, but at the end of the day, you have to realize, like, can I do this long term? And I knew I couldn't do that long term because the site I was playing on, they stopped doing it the way that they was doing it at first when I was making all the money. So that was a change for me. So now I'm in this mode where it's like, I need a job. I need to get a job. So the first job that I actually applied for is to be a correctional officer. Mind you, now I'm from the Delta, North Mississippi to be exact, Rosedale, Bolivar County. And not far away from that is Parchman. My sister, she was working at Parchman at the time, and I always told myself I would never, ever, 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 ever work at a prison. You know what they say? Never say never. So I always say I never work at the prison because Parchman was right there. It was real close to me, and I didn't want to work there. And my mind was made up that I didn't want to work at a prison. So the first job I applied for was at the prison in Pearl, Mississippi. Okay. That was something that I wasn't looking to do, but I applied for it, and they was hiring at the time. If you know anything about the prison, they don't pay a lot. They pay a lot now, or they pay more now. But when I went there, it was like 2013, I think. Yeah, I went there in like 2013. They wasn't paying a whole lot of money. So I went there, I did the interview process or whatever, and we did whatever we had to do to get the job. So now, guess what? I got the job. That's job number 2. And if you know anything about the prison, you know where I'm coming from with the amount of stress and things you have to deal with while working at a prison. Okay, so CMCF, okay, Central Mississippi Correctional Facility. Central Mississippi, yeah. So that's the prison I was working at. So I get there, and like I said, this is my second job now. The first job was like a summer thing, and it wasn't really nothing major. You know what I'm saying? So now I get to the prison, and this is my second job. Okay, I'm going around people working every single day. Dealing with inmates every single day, and I'm thinking like, man, I'm not making a whole lot of money, and it's like high risk, low reward to me at the time. But I didn't think about that because I was just trying to put food on the table. You know what I'm saying? Working at the prison, making ends meet, doing what I got to do. But it wasn't a whole lot of money, okay? And a lot of people were corrupt in the prison system because of that reason, okay? You wasn't making a lot of money. So a lot of people were going through their correctional career doing things that they shouldn't be doing because the money was so low. But let's get to working with staff every day. Now, the people that I work with, man, love those guys to death. Would do anything for them, at work. But we really didn't have like an outside relationship. You know what I'm saying? A couple of them I still do talk to, but you go to work to do your 8 hours and leave. That was our motto. Do your 8, hit the gate. Simple as that. You don't come there to do too much. You always want to make it back home. Okay. And that was the most important thing. But you work with people every single day, and you have to deal with the staff. It's not about your lieutenants or your captains or the anybody. It's always the people that you work with and the inmates. Okay. That stuff can be really, really stressful for the people that know what I'm talking about. We're working at a prison. It can be really, really stressful, and it could cause you to have a short career because of the amount of stress that you have to deal with working at a prison. But I was okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have in my mind that I was going to go through the ranks. Okay, correctional officer, lieutenant, captain. I didn't have that in my mind at all. Okay, I didn't want to be a case manager, anything like that. That wasn't even on my mind. You know what I'm saying? I just really wanted to work at the prison and just figure out my next move in life when it comes to working. But I just did that because that was something that I needed to do at the time to put food on the table and pay bills and things of that nature. Okay, so I worked there for about 2 years. Mind you, this is my second job. So I found out about the federal prison after maybe a year or so of working at the state prison. All right. Now I'm trying to make this video short. I don't want to make it too long, but I can go all day, like I said. But like I said, I worked there for 2 years, from 13 to 15, right? So now I'm hearing about the federal prison in Yazoo City, Mississippi, but it's federal prisons all over, all over. You can go anywhere. So I seen people at the state prison saying they got a job at the federal prison, and of course they was making way more money. I think when I started there, it was like 40 some thousand, maybe. I can't remember the exact number, but that probably double the salary at the state prison. You know what I'm saying? So you can see why I wanted to make the move to go to the federal prison. So people were leaving the state prison, going to the federal prison, and now that was on my list of things to do because yes, I wanted to make more money. And now I felt like I had at least 2 years of experience from the state prison. I thought it was time to move to another level. So I applied for the federal prison, but they didn't have Yazoo City on the thing to apply for. I think I applied for Texas and somewhere in Texas, like 2 prisons in Texas. And the crazy thing about it is that Yazoo was the one that contacted me. So now I had to go through the whole process of getting a job for the federal prison, and it's a little bit different than a lot different than the state prison. So you had to have your credit good and all that stuff. So now I'm doing everything I can to fix my credit, whatever was on my credit, nothing major really. But I did what I was supposed to do with that, and now I go for the interview for the federal prison, and bam, I get the job. Like I said, I'm trying to make this short and sweet so I can just, talk about working at the prison and why I don't want to work another 9 to 5. So keep in mind now, working 9 to 5, it's time consuming. You have to think about it. Now, when I was working at the state prison, I'm trying to kind of going back a little bit. When I was working at the state prison, I was working night shift. So I go in at 11 and get off at 7. But at the state prison, you don't always get off like you're supposed to get off. So 11 to 7. So now you got to get ready earlier, just to get to the job at 11. Okay, it wasn't far from the commute, wasn't bad at all. I was right there in Ridgeland, so I just drive to Pearl. It wasn't far at all. So you got to get ready before work, and then that's some time. Then you go to work, and then you work your shift, and you might not get off on time. That was like every day. You know what I'm saying? Then you get home. Now it's daytime, and you don't really want to go to sleep because you be wanting to sleep at night. So now you got to force yourself to go to sleep. Taking ZzzQuil to go to sleep, man, because I wasn't sleeping once I got home. So it was a lot of things that made me want to do something else. Nothing wrong with that, but that was something that I did. You know what I'm saying? And now I get to the federal prison, a different ball game, different mindset, different people. Like the people were even different. Like it's just a different atmosphere when you go from the state prison to the federal prison. Love my people at the state prison a little bit more than the people at federal prison, because I ain't gonna lie, the people at the federal prison, and even though they came from the state prison, they just acted a little bit different, like more like I'm better than the next person. That's just what I thought. You know what I'm saying? They was acting like that maybe because they at the federal prison, and it's like, oh, federal. So it's feel like some people thought they was better than, a lot of people that just coming in or whatnot. That was just my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying? So I get to the federal prison, and it's just cool. I had to learn the ropes. I had to go to Glencoe. We had to do all that. I touch on that in another video. So I go through. I was there like maybe 3 years, 4 years, or something like that. And we'll talk about the federal prison a little bit more in another video. So COVID hit, right? So I think this was the time where I felt like I didn't really want to work another 9 to 5. Okay, so everything was cool. Don't get me wrong, until COVID hit. Once COVID hit, I already was building up to leave the prison or work, be on my own and be an entrepreneur, do what I need to do on my own, because I didn't feel like I had any freedom working at that prison every single day. Okay, I couldn't leave when I wanted to leave. If you get mandatory, you got to stay. You can't do this, you can't do that. You're dealing with the staff, you're dealing with the supervisors, you're dealing with everybody. And it just was and you got to deal with the inmates. Okay, so COVID hit, and it's just like the whole world changed and my life changed, and it was just a lot of stress. And even my wife was telling me, like, after the fact, like, you don't act the same. Like I wasn't even acting the same. Like it altered my mental state of mind. You know what I'm saying? And when you're in it, you don't think about that. You know what I'm saying? You just going through it, living life. You don't see it, but the people around you see it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't hate my experience that I had with the state prison and the federal prison, but I just wanted more freedom. That's just me. Nothing is wrong with working and retiring. That's up to you. But I just wanted more freedom. And things happened in my life where I felt like if I was still working at the prison, a lot of sacrifices would have had to be made, because you just can't move around like you want to. Okay, you go to work, you do your shift, and then you're thinking you're going to get off, and bam, you get mandatory. It was just a lot of things. And then, like I said, when COVID hit, they wanted me to do things that I wasn't necessarily wanting to do at the time, because COVID was new, and inmates came from a different place, came to Yazoo, and hell, you just think about it. All those people in there got COVID, and it's like, you want me to go in there? I don't have COVID, but you want me to go in there and work with them, take a chance on getting COVID? And I was like, nah, man, I'm not doing that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was when COVID first hit. And I was like, I ain't trying to do that, man. I ain't trying to go in there, work on the unit, and you put me in a unit where everybody in the unit got COVID. You know what I'm saying? Like, hell no. I didn't want to do that, but I had to, because that was my job, you know what I'm saying? And they give you the protection and all that stuff. But I just wasn't comfortable doing that because I know I had to go around my wife. I know I had to go around her grandmother, and she was in her 80s. So, I was like, nah, man, I ain't really trying to, but that's just what it was. Now, and once that happened, it was like every day it was something. It was like, I don't know if it was a sign or what, but like every day it was something going on, and it was just pushing me farther and farther away from wanting to come to work every day. And it was like it was stressful. You feel what I'm saying? It was real stressful, and everybody handled stress different. But that was pushing me farther and farther away. Now, mind you, I was going to make that transition anyway, but I just didn't know when. Okay, and it just so happened that it's like I got pushed to that point. You feel what I'm saying? Like I just got pushed to that point. Things were happening every day. Bam, this happened. Bam, that happened. Bam, that happened. Bam, that happened. I'm like, God, dog, man, like, what is it? Like, I want to stay here, but at the same time, I want to leave. It was just so much going on, and I could break it down in other videos, but eventually, I ended up taking some time off. I took maybe a month off or whatever. But in my mind, I'm thinking like I don't want to go back. Like that's just what I was thinking. I don't want to go back. But I like after I took that time off, my mind was like, yeah, I guess I'll go back. But then I was like, I really don't want to go back. Like to deal with what you have to deal with every single day, day in and day out. And I'd have been through a lot, and I've seen a lot. It's a lot. When you're working at a prison, it's a lot that I can talk about and I will talk about. And I just was kind of fed up with it, making good money and all that, but I just wanted and needed more freedom. I didn't want the stress of working at the prison every day. You're going there, it's almost like you're locked up with them because you really can't leave when you want to leave. It's just always something every day, and not saying it's a bad place. It's a great career. Don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't for me. Now I took some time off, and to be honest, that was it. I took more time off, and I just made a decision that I wasn't going back. And I think that was at the time it was a bad decision, but it has been one of the best decisions of my life because a lot has happened over the years, and I was able to do more things for my wife, grandma. She has been there for us, since day one. You know what I'm saying? And I've been able to take her places like doctor's appointments, and while my wife is at work, like I can do things. I was still making money because I was doing YouTube. I was selling merchandise. You know what I'm saying? I was making money. I was good with that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, that was a great career, but I felt like it had to end, and it gave me the ability to have that freedom. Okay, I had that freedom to take my wife, grandma, wherever she needed to go, any appointments that she needed to go to, and I felt good doing that for her because she had done so much for us over the years. And like I was telling my wife, and I was telling my wife, grandma, that if I was still at that prison, I wouldn't be able to take you nowhere. You feel what I'm saying? And we don't want her to ask. I'm gonna take you. And I think everything happens for a reason, and that was a blessing and a curse at the same time, if you want to say that. You know what I'm saying? But I just appreciate. Not appreciate. I just feel so much better being able to do things that I wasn't able to do at first when I was working every single day. I can move around when I want to move. I don't have to wait on nobody to say, "Oh, you can take off," or "We can't give you this day off." No, I can just go when I want to go. I can move when I want to move. I can do what I want to do, and that was the freedom I was looking for. Okay, so not saying that everybody is like that. You may be different. I don't know, but I'm just speaking from my experience. You know what I'm saying? And I'll touch more on it in later videos, but I just couldn't take it anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. And I've been doing YouTube. I've been doing TikTok, and I've been okay. You feel what I'm saying? Because it's about that freedom for me, and that time, you can't get time back. You know what I'm saying? But once again, nothing is wrong with a 9 to 5. If you're working a 9 to 5, you don't have to stop working a 9 to 5. But there are a lot of ways that you can make money today, and YouTube is one of them. And like I said, it gave me the freedom that I was looking for in the beginning. I wouldn't say it was good because, you know,